If you are starting on the 15-minute time frame to perform your SMC market structure analysis, then that is why you are potentially struggling. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I perform a top-down analysis using SMC market structure, going all the way from the monthly time frame all the way down to the hourly time frame on the EURUSD. So this is going to provide a lot more structure and clarity to your trading to help keep you out of losses and get more winning trades. So my name is Justin Bennett, Forex trader since 2007, full-time since 2011. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So EURUSD monthly time frame, guys, we're going to go through the whole gamut today, all the way from the monthly time frame down to the weekly, the daily, and the 1 hour. Now, the very first thing that I do want to say here is that you can see I've started marking up this chart here on the monthly, but a lot of traders will think that, okay, well, the monthly and weekly don't apply to me because I trade the 1 hour or the 15-minute time frame. And that is true, okay, for a lot of the time, okay? In other words, the monthly time frame really is only going to change every few years, okay? But there are times like right now where it does matter, and it has mattered over the past few weeks, and I'm going to show you why, okay? And the other thing to understand here too is that it doesn't take a lot of time to mark up the monthly time frame because these charts only change every few years. Okay, really, you only have to update this thing every few years. There's really not much else to do. Okay, so it's a very low time commitment, but the payoff can be extreme, especially in cases like I'm going to show you today. Okay, so back here, guys, we can see we have a downtrend, lower highs and lower lows here from the euro on the monthly time frame. So we have the low back here, we had the break below. Okay, we had a BOS down here. This was the low, this was our external high. We had the close below over here. Now we know that this is our external high up here because we had the BOS within this box right here. Okay, this is the highest high. As long as the euro is below this, it is technically bearish on the monthly time frame. Okay, now this is significant because as of right now, you can see where the euro came right up here into this area. Okay, so if we take OTE, and the great thing about markets, guys, in general, in SMC, the way we mark out market structure is that markets are fractal, meaning that you're going to see the same or similar patterns on every single time frame. So even though this is the 1 month time frame, I could show you this chart without showing you the time frame, and you wouldn't know if this is the 1 month or the 1 minute. And so the beauty of this is that once you understand SMC market structure, you can apply this to any time frame. Okay, so you can see the power in that when you start to combine multiple time frames, you're essentially adding confluence to your trading. And if you want to see exactly how I do that, then be sure to check out the link here on the screen for my free SMC strategy. I'm going to walk you through my exact strategy, how I trade it full time in a 3-part series. It's nearly 2 hours of content. It's all of the details there, and it is completely free. So it's somewhere here on the screen here. If you don't see it here though, scroll down and it is in the description. Okay, so you can see with the EURUSD right now, we have the market into OTE here on the monthly. And again, this is why markets are fractal, right? You can see that the same rules apply. We've talked about this before on things like the hourly time frame, and you can see where the same rules apply. High up here, low down here following the BOS, we have the market right now in OTE. Okay, so this is a case right now over the past few weeks where this matters regardless of the time frame you're trading. If you're on the 15-minute time frame, this matters. Okay, this up here matters. And I'll show you why here in today's video. And in fact, this is one of the benefits too of being in our Discord group, okay, in the VIP group, because this was a few weeks ago. I talked about this right here on the weekly, and this right here, okay, is that fair value gap from right over here. Okay, so if we draw this out, you can see where this candle back here on the monthly, this was the fair value gap that I pointed out in Discord, okay, for members. So this up here, if we look at a weekly time frame now, knowing that the monthly, again, the monthly is in a downtrend here, we have a BOS below here. As long as we're below this high up here, this is going to matter. And again, we have this fair value gap being mitigated through here. So this is time to pay attention regardless of the time frame that you trade. Now, looking at the weekly time frame, okay, let's drop down here to this time frame now. You can see that, again, going back here, look at this candle. Look at the imbalance back here in this area. And again, we know that this is OTE based on that monthly time frame. Okay, so this right here is exactly what I wanted to see mitigated. And this is where I was telling VIP members that, you know, we could get a reversal from the euro. And this right here, okay, this Discord post that I made, that was pretty much the high, okay, or very close to it following this move right here, this wick. Now, another thing here too with the weekly, okay, and again, this is one of those time frames where you're only going to have to update this every few weeks or potentially even every few months. So the time commitment here is very, very small, but the payoff is huge in times like this. So here on the weekly time frame, you can see that what we have is off of these lows down here, and we've talked about this before too. okay? But this is essentially just a parallel channel, and I like to call it a distribution channel because I'm showing this here with the midline, this red line here, because this is the average price of this channel. So what markets tend to do is when you get a trend like this here, okay, so higher highs and higher lows on the weekly time frame, what you tend to get is markets distributing around the mean, okay? So you get the move to the extreme here on the downside, to the sell side, you get the reversion back to the mean. Same thing here recently, okay? So knowing that this is the case, if you were on a lower time frame, okay, through here, would you want to be buying? Would you want to be buying knowing that this fair value gap is being mitigated and we are at the top of this distribution channel? And this is exactly what we talked about in Discord, okay, at length, that up here in this area, and I'll show you here on the 1 hour time frame how this was technically a buy, okay, up here. But knowing that we had this on the higher time frames, this kept us out of long in the euro. And in fact, we were looking for a reversal up here in this area. So even though we are still technically in an uptrend here for the euro, you can see that for the most part, we have been range bound, and we also have this sell side imbalance down here, okay? So now if we drop down to a daily time frame, okay? So again, from here, we've gone monthly, weekly, now we're down to a daily time frame. So the same rules apply, right? If we look back here at this move up, okay, what you'll notice here is that we did get off of this high, we got the close above, okay? So within this trend, we had a BOS above here, and this down here was now our protected low. Again, we find this very easily by saying, okay, here's our high from the BOS, here's the close above. Within this box, what's the lowest point? It's this one right here. So as long as we're above here, we are bullish. You can see we formed a higher low. So from this point over here, we have our higher low. We come up here. This is now the high we're watching. Okay, so up here in this area off of this wick, and you can see where we did get another BOS. Okay, so again, the market is technically bullish. However, again, if you were buying up here, if you were looking for buys, and I'll show you on the 1 hour time frame where we did get a BOS through here, but knowing that we had this pocket up here on those high time frames, that would have kept you out of longing this, and it would have worked out in your favor because anybody buying through here obviously got stopped out. Now, looking here again, this is the daily time frame, and this is the imbalance that I'm referring to. So notice these candles right back here, and you wouldn't know this unless you were looking at the daily. If you're stuck on the 15-minute time frame or the 1 hour time frame, then you're not going to notice stuff like this back here. Okay, this back here is a void in the market. It's an imbalance. We have not seen the euro come back here in this area. Furthermore, you can even see candles like this here too, right? A lot of displacement out of this range. We had the low right here, but we haven't come back here in this region. Now, obviously there's no guarantee of that, but given this structure that we're seeing here recently, knowing that we have the market coming off of this very significant area on the weekly and monthly, then there is a good chance that we come down here. Now, furthermore too, what you'll notice here, and we talked about this in Discord as well, I pointed this out to members, when we were up here, there was a lot of confluence for the euro up here in this region, is that we do have off of these highs and lows, the same exact pattern, guys. And this is why, again, I love channels like this because it's not about diagonal support and resistance. That's not what it's about. What this is about is a trend, okay? Higher highs and higher lows, and that markets revolve around the mean, okay? Or the average price. So if this is the average price through here, markets revolve around this. You get a move to the sell side, move to the sell side, move to the sell side. Every single time we revert back to the mean, okay? And the same exact rules apply when we get a move to the buy side. So you get a move up here to the extreme, okay? Extreme up here, extreme again. Every single time we revert to the mean. So this back here, again, we talked about this in Discord up here. You can see so far we are back here to the mean or average price within this trend. However, knowing that this has been the pattern for the euro, okay, going all the way back here for basically about a year, then we can gather from this that if we close, okay, if we get acceptance below this low right here, and I'll show you this on the lower time frames, but if we get acceptance below here, then imbalances like this are wide open for business, okay? And again, this is part of this distribution that we've seen here within this channel as well. Okay, so far we've gone from the monthly time frame, right? Just to kind of recap here, we've gone from the monthly time frame. Overall structure here is still bearish, right? We're also into the OTE here. We've mitigated a significant fair value gap back here in this area. So this is one of those cases where if you weren't looking at the monthly time frame, you would not have known about this. Okay, and this is a very, very easy time frame to maintain because again, we're only updating this chart every few years, guys. It's a very, very small time commitment. And the same thing with the weekly. Really, this chart, you only have to update really every few, at most every few weeks, but really probably every, couple months, every 2 or 3 months, you have to update this. So it's a very low time commitment. Okay, so hopping back here to the daily time frame, again, we have the market trading within this distribution channel. So if we turn off the midline here, just to kind of clean it up again, this is essentially what you're looking at, okay? So now if we go to a 1 hour time frame, let's go ahead and look at this. And let's go all the way back here too, because really when you're trading SMC, the best thing you can do to help give you some clarity is just go back, look left and identify your BOSs and your change of characters and all that to get a feel for where we are currently. Okay, so this up here is what we just saw on those high time frames, the weekly and monthly. Okay, so we know that the euro is coming off of this significant area on the weekly and monthly. And if you'll notice back here on this move up, now this is significant. And I want to point something out here and I want to clarify something for traders, because this is where a lot of traders go wrong trading SMC. Because this back here, if we call this a BOS, okay, the challenge is, and the number one question I get when I do this is that traders say, well, all of this was internal, right? You talk about internal versus external all the time. And technically within this price leg, you can see where we never really got a significant pullback. We never got the market pulling back here first before we had the BOS, right? So why would you label this as a BOS? And I label it as a BOS because the thing to understand about a break of structure or change of character is that this right here, okay, this is not signaling a trade setup, okay? Just because you have a BOS or change of character does not mean that it is tradable. We are simply marking up the market structure, okay? The story the market's telling us. And the reason I do this, the reason I label this is because it gives me this low down here. It gives me this external low. I know that the moment that we trade above this, okay, this low down here becomes significant. So it's not about trying to buy against this right here. In fact, you wouldn't want to do that for two reasons. One, because again, on the high time frames, we knew that this was a significant area. So the point here is that anybody trying to buy over here against this BOS, okay, so close above here, buyers are in control. You get the pullback, right? Everybody says, okay, I'm buying against this. Well, guess what? You have that massive area on those high time frames up here. So would you really want to buy this? Would you want to buy this knowing that you have this area up here? That's number one. That's the number one reason why looking at high time frames like that is so beneficial. Now, the other reason that you wouldn't want to buy this, or that I didn't want to buy this, is that we have this imbalance down here below these lows. So because this was such a shallow pullback, you can see that within this price leg, we have this huge imbalance back here. So I knew this. And again, we talked about this at length in Discord. I mean, this is the benefit of being in Discord, is that we talk about this stuff in real time every single day, Monday through Friday. So looking at these lows back here, we know now that these are significant. So what that means is that a close below gives us a change of character. So now that we have that, right? And again, I want to clarify, this BOS here is not about looking for buys. This is not an automatic setup, okay? This is me simply just marking out the structure here and saying, okay, this is my external low. Any close below here is potentially significant. And so far, what you'll see is that it has been significant for the euro, because notice how we had the lower high develop. Okay, so we had the imbalance back here. We had the move back here into this area. So far, we are getting a lower high. Okay, so again, anybody arguing that this over here was internal, okay, and not a valid BOS would have missed out on this right here. And if you missed out on this right here, then you would have missed out on this lower high that has developed so far. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. When we do this with BOS and change of character, all we are doing is just marking up the market structure. We're not identifying trade setups, okay? That's something completely different. And that relies on liquidity, right? And again, you go back here and you look at this imbalance back here, right? Would you want to buy up here in this area against this BOS knowing you have this massive area and you have this unmitigated imbalance back here? Absolutely not, okay? And we didn't in Discord. I said I did not want to buy here. Instead, I was looking for a change of character back here to potentially get a move back here towards some of these imbalances. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward now on the 1 hour time frame and complete this out. So far what we've done here is we marked out our monthly, our weekly, and our daily. And we know that the market's coming off a significant area. We know that the weekly time frame is technically still bullish. However, on the 1 hour time frame, we do have the market giving us a change of character, okay? And marking out those high time frames, guys, would have kept us away from buying this up here, okay? Now, if we look here at the 1 hour time frame, the tricky part with the euro currently is that you can see that up here we had no close above this high. So this up here was technically not a BOS. Okay, so no BOS up here. That means that our last external low here for the euro is this one all the way down here. So what this also means is that, yes, you could technically trade this in here, but it has been so choppy lately. And again, this back here is our last external low because we never got a close above back here to make this our external low. So the point here is that if we get a close below this low down here, then that would give us a BOS. Okay, so acceptance below here gives us a BOS. And if we get displacement like we're seeing so far here today, then we have a buy side imbalance. So you get acceptance below here. And then from there, you're looking for shorts against that buy side imbalance for mitigation of that area. Now, because we know, okay, if we look at the daily time frame, because we know from those higher time frames that the market has this imbalance down here, and because we also know that we have that symmetry, okay, in the form of this ascending channel. Because we know all of this, okay, what we can do is say that if this low here breaks on the 1 hour and we get that 1 hour BOS, then this pocket down here below these lows is the target. Okay. So you see how those higher time frames can not only help keep you out of a trade, out of a losing trade, they can also help get you into profitable trades and even identify entries. Because again, if we're not looking at the daily time frame, we would not know about this area down here. In other words, then if you're looking at the 1 hour time frame, okay, so going back here to the 1 hour, if you get a close below this low back here, sure, you might mark out that it's a BOS, but then what's your target, right? What's your target? Is it this low right down here? If so, then you're leaving a lot on the table, right? Because we know that from the daily time frame that the area of interest, okay, on those high time frames is actually all the way down here toward 116. So really we're looking at this area down here, not this area. So you'd be leaving a lot on the table if you didn't have an idea of what's going on with those high time frames. Okay, so again, the higher time frames like the monthly and the weekly, they give you a lot of benefit, especially the weekly time frame, but they're very low maintenance. The same thing with the daily time frame. Really, this chart here, you only have to update maybe once every few weeks. So very low maintenance, but it's going to give you a lot of insight, a lot of extra insight, even if you're trading those lower time frames. Okay, so whatever your strategy is, be sure to use the higher time frames. Don't be afraid of going to the monthly, the weekly, and the daily time frames to really get an idea of what's going on with the market. It is going to give you so much more insight into your strategy. So be sure to keep it locked in here. Also check out this video here where I walk you through how to mark up SMC market structure. And don't forget to check out that free course. Check out the link in the description. Until next time, trade well out there.